All right, let's get right into it. Google just announced something they're calling their most capable and general AI model ever, Gemini. And listen, this isn't just another update. We're talking about a whole new family of models that are designed to understand our world a lot more like we do. You know, using sight, sound, and language all at the same time. So, why is this such a big deal?
Well, to really get the leap we're talking about, just look at this. On the left, you've got a student's handwritten physics problem, and on the right, that's Gemini's response. What's so amazing here is that it's not just reading the text. It actually understands the physics involved. It spots the exact mistake. See, the student used the slope's length instead of its height. It explains the error, and then it generates the correct step-by-step solution. This shows it's not just spitting back information. It's actually reasoning its way through the problem, kind of like a real human tutor would.
So, let's really break down this announcement. This is not about small, incremental improvements. Google is putting Gemini out there as the new state of the art, and it's built to go head-to-head with the best of the best.
And they didn't come empty-handed. Their most powerful version, Gemini Ultra, beat the top competitor in an incredible 30 out of 32 of the standard academic tests that everybody uses. I mean, these tests are basically the Olympics for AI, right? They measure everything: text, reasoning, image, video, you name it. To win 30 out of 32, that's just dominance. And to really put a pin in it, let's talk about one of the absolute hardest tests out there, the MMLU. This thing is a monster. It covers 57 subjects: math, physics, law, ethics, history, all to measure how well an AI can apply knowledge to solve problems. Gemini Ultra is the first model in history to score over 90%. It actually surpassed the performance of human experts. That is a massive, massive milestone.
But honestly, those performance numbers, they're really just a symptom of something much, much deeper. The real story here is how Gemini thinks.
So the key phrase you're going to hear over and over is this: natively multimodal. See, most AI models out there, they learn text first. Then things like vision or hearing were kind of bolted on later. But Gemini was built differently, right from the ground up. From day one, it was trained on text, images, video, and audio all at the same time. It doesn't have a text brain and a separate vision brain. It's one unified model that thinks across all these senses from its very core.
Here's a simple way to think about it. It's the difference between learning to read a book and then way later trying to figure out what the pictures mean, versus a kid who learns what a dog is by seeing one, hearing it bark, and feeling its fur, all at the same moment. That integrated, full-picture understanding is exactly what Gemini was built for.
And Google didn't just build one giant, one-size-fits-all model. No, they created an entire family, each one optimized for different jobs.
So first, you have Ultra. That's the beast, the most powerful one, built to tackle those huge, super complex problems. Then you've got Pro. That's your all-around MVP, the one that's going to power a lot of Google's AI services because it's the perfect balance of performance and scale. And finally, there's Nano, which is so incredibly efficient it can run right on your smartphone, bringing all this advanced AI into your pocket even when you're offline.
Okay, that's the theory. But what does this native multimodality really look like when the rubber hits the road? Let's check out a few real-world examples.
Okay, check this out. Someone just snaps a photo of a plant and asks two things. What is this, and how do I take care of it? Instantly, Gemini correctly identifies it as a Persian shield plant. But it doesn't stop there. It then gives a super detailed care guide: light, water, fertilizer, even what to do about pests. It just seamlessly connects what it sees with the vast library of what it knows. Just imagine pointing your phone at literally anything and getting an expert on the spot.
But it gets even crazier than that. Look at this. Here, Gemini is basically a detective. It sees just a tiny, faint view of the Empire State Building way in the background, plus some other subtle clues in the photo, and it's able to pinpoint the exact location, the corner of 8th Avenue and West 34th Street in New York City. That's just wild.
And it's not just about facts, it's about understanding culture. Gemini can actually explain why this meme is funny. It gets that the gamer who's all excited about 300 frames per second is being held back by their 75 hertz monitor. It doesn't just see the words in the picture, it gets the joke. It understands the cultural context, which for an AI is an incredibly difficult thing to do.
And that brings us full circle, right back to that physics problem. This one example shows everything working together in perfect harmony. You've got reading messy handwriting, applying complex scientific logic, and then communicating the answer clearly. This is what natively multimodal really means in practice.
Now, of course, when you build something this powerful, you have a massive, massive responsibility. And Google's been very clear that building the most capable AI has to go hand in hand with building the safest AI.
And they don't treat this like a simple checklist they run through once. It's a constant loop.
They're always assessing for new risks, updating their safety policies, evaluating the model's behavior, mitigating any vulnerabilities they find, and then testing all over again. All of that before a model ever gets close to the public.
And this is a fantastic, real-world example of what that safety work looks like. On the left, an earlier version of a model was asked to help with a flat Earth website, and it just said, sure, I can help. But on the right, after all that safety tuning, the Gemini model doesn't just refuse the request, it explains why it's refusing, pointing out the ethical issues and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It's a huge shift from being just a tool to being a more responsible assistant.
And really, that's the whole idea behind Gemini. It's an attempt to build an AI that understands our world less like a machine that's just processing data, and more like a person who's actually experiencing it through sight, sound, and language. And that leaves us with a really profound question to think about. What happens next?